Hello, this is Frank Neely from HeartlandDiaryUSA.com, bringing you news every conservative can use. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay up to date. Well, last night, Tucker Carlson set the conservative movement afire with his allegations that Sidney Powell was somehow blocking him from seeing evidence of election fraud regarding Dominion voting systems and Smartmatic. Today, Sidney Powell responded on Maria Bartiromo's show and defended herself ably, as you would expect, from the allegation that she was somehow rude to Tucker or refused to present evidence. However, I do want to point out, I'm going to play this for you, but I do want to point out that Powell and Giuliani continue to state that Dominion Voting Systems was a Venezuelan company. And from what I have seen of the evidence they have presented, Smartmatic is a Venezuelan company or a company that started in Venezuela. But there is no evidence I've seen presented that Dominion is Venezuelan. The affidavit she provided by the Venezuelan military officer merely stated that Dominion and Smartmatic had done business together and that Dominion had used some of the same types of software that Smartmatic used in its efforts to steal elections for Chavez. So we're gonna get into that further. I definitely think Sidney Powell was correct to defend herself against Tucker Carlson, but we're gonna have to wait and see exactly how this plays out, because there is some question about exactly the relationship between Dominion and Venezuela that's being asserted. So here it is. Listen to this. I'm going to let it play through the Venezuelan connection.
All right, Sidney, I want you to respond to what Tucker Carlson said last night, Sidney. I don't know if you watched it, but Tucker Carlson said that he had invited you on his show to share evidence of the software flipping votes, and he said you got angry and refused to provide evidence for your claims of voting software flipping votes. How do you respond to Tucker Carlson? Did you get angry with the show because they texted you and asked you to please provide evidence of what you're alleging?
No, I didn't get angry with the request to provide evidence. In fact, I sent an affidavit to Tucker that I had not even attached to a pleading yet to help him understand the situation, and I offered him another witness who could explain the mathematics and statistical evidence far better than I can. I'm not really a numbers person, but he was very insulting, demanding, and rude, and I told him not to contact me again in those terms.
So Sidney, will you be able to prove this evidence that you say you have of this technology flipping votes from Trump to Biden? How will you prove that, Sidney?
Well, we have witnesses that know how it's done and have seen it done, Maria. That's firsthand evidence of how it works and that it works. And we will also have a whole lot more evidence as the days progress. I mean, I'm still getting information through a fire hose. We can't even keep up with the witnesses that are calling in and wanting to give affidavits and provide evidence. So this is very early in the stage of any case, aside from one of this massive magnitude, that frankly should have been investigated and stopped by our law enforcement community within a decade ago. We shouldn't be in this position, and here we are, a handful of civil lawyers trying to do the work of a massive government institution and the biggest worldwide corruption fraud ever exposed.
So Sidney, what about this comment from the Dominion side saying we have no ties to Venezuela? What specifically are the ties to Venezuela? You and Rudy said that our votes in America go back to a foreign land, that they are looked at and processed potentially in Europe. Dominion is saying we have no ties to Venezuela, no ties to Cuba. Can you explain that?
All I can tell you is that the company might have somehow severed or tried to sever the relationships recently. I don't know how they are parsing their words, but I can tell you that the company was started with Venezuelan money in Venezuela for the express purpose of rigging elections for Hugo Chavez. We have people that were there at his side while it was all done. They were in the control room and watched how the votes were flipped. They can watch the votes in real time. We have evidence now of information from the systems going to 3 or 4 different foreign countries during the time of the election. So those countries themselves could have watched the live votes come in and change the numbers. There's significant evidence of foreign interference of the worst communist countries on the earth with our election.